Spencer, Thongchai Jaidee, the man's on a roll. What do you have to say about his successes?
Fantastic. It was interesting. I've just been editing a piece that's going to be in the April issue of Asian Golf Monthly, and I didn't realise he's going to turn 40 this year. And he really is one of those guys who is coming into his prime, and I honestly believe that. The reason being, unlike so many of the kids today, he didn't turn professional until 10 years ago. So he was in his very late 20s. He was playing amateur golf for the Thai national team, and I know the Thai Golf Association wanted to keep him amateur to play in the Asian Games and bring glory to the country. So unlike so many of the players who maybe turn pro in their late teens and get burnt out very early, this guy's incredible.
So he's maturing like a good wine. Huh?
And you know what? He's so good now, and his rankings and everything, that he's in a position where he can actually pick and choose which events he plays in. He doesn't overplay, and the hope is that he can squeeze into the world's top 50 in time to get back to Augusta. He's played there once before. I was in Bali for the Indonesian Open, and I followed him for the third round and a few holes on the last day, and his ball striking was absolutely phenomenal. This is on a really windy, exposed course, a golf plan run free company course, and how he controlled the play in those windy conditions was absolutely phenomenal. And I don't think many people in the world could have lived with him then, and he led from the front and was never really in danger. And it was a great comeback. The week before, he'd had to pull out of going to Australia. He had a virus and he wasn't very well, so he battled back from that. The amazing thing, I think he won $200,000 for Indonesia, which makes him #1, the first player in Asian Tour history to win 11 tournaments. He was level leader with Tawan Murachand before that with 10, so he's now won 11. As it was a co-sanctioned event, it's his third European title, and I don't think there's any other Asians who have ever done that. And he also has become the first player to break through the $3 million barrier in earnings on the Asian Tour. All of that phenomenal. And I think the other side I'd just quickly like to say is, which doesn't get much publicity, is that he's launched this Thongchai Jaidee Foundation in his hometown of Lopburi in Thailand, a couple of hours from Bangkok, and he is producing the next generation of Thai golfers. And I know that he is very hands-on with this. One of the reasons he loves to go back whenever he can, so he can play with these guys, coach them personally himself, and I know he takes an incredible delight in seeing them progress. And let me just say, Mike, as well, he's a fantastic role model for a lot of the Asian guys. He now speaks wonderful English. I remember him sort of 5, 6, 7 years ago where, again, didn't have a lot of confidence in his English. Now he holds press conferences at the European Tour in English, and he's fantastic. And as I say, I think he's gone that extra yard, and I really wish him well as he comes into his 40th year, and I think we can see him do even better and produce even greater things.
Do you see him spending more time on the European Tour?
It's a very interesting one, and look, I think he'll play all of the co-sanction events that are in this part of the world, and maybe he'll have 2 or 3 week spells where he goes to Europe. I think he's, as I say, at a stage where he can pick and choose pretty much. He has his 2-3 year exemption now for the European Tour, so he doesn't have to worry about finishing in a certain place on the order of merit. And I think what you'll see is he'll build his schedule around the bigger tournaments now. And the real hope will be that he'd qualify for the British Open, for the US Masters, to get invites to the PGA, to get back to Augusta, because he's good enough now. And again, you talk to a lot of the European players, and they will tell you that Thongchai is one of the purest ball strikers in the world of golf today, anywhere. And we'd love to see him win a couple of big tournaments in Europe. He's won 3 European events, all here in Asia, 2 in Malaysia, 1 now in Indonesia, and I think for him that's the next challenge that he needs to go and do to prove to everyone that he really is